Okay, so I got my pulley here, and this is part of the tool that is used to remove it. You have three little sections. You have this section that goes in here. You have two of these little clamp pieces. Then you have this collar. So you want to thread this so that the end piece here is about flush with here. And what I found out is there's two different sizes of this, and in the car it's a little bit weird to see. The small side, like I said, it's hard to see. This is the small side, and that's the bigger side right there. The top side is kind of beveled here. That goes here, and then this piece kind of wedges in between the two of them like that. Then this little collar goes over the top and compresses it. And so what you do is you just get this tight, and then in the car you have to just hold this one. I used a crescent wrench, and I think this was like a 5/8. But as it pulls and twists, this goes in, and you can see the little thing coming out, and that hits the pulley, and as it does, it pushes the pulley off of the arm, and that's how you do that to take that off. Okay, what I thought I'd also do is explain. This is the whole toolkit. These are very specialized. This is for, I believe it's power steering pulley remover installer for a Ford GM Chrysler. So this is a tool that I'm not going to keep. I normally keep some of the tools that I get, but you can rent these at any of the auto parts stores. I got this one at AutoZone, and you have the part number here, 57031. So it comes in a little case. This is the installer tool right here. There's two different rods for this one, and so this goes into the end of the pump. I didn't need the smaller one, I needed the bigger one, so there's that. This is the remover tool, like I showed earlier. You have the little clamp. Like I said, the beveled edge up here is the one that goes up here, and then the smaller flat side goes against the pulley. And pretty much from what I've seen, this is all that I need from this. And so you pay for the tool, but then you can take it back and get your money back. Since I got to take the pump back anyway, I'm going to do that and get the, I want to say it was $40 to rent the tool, and then I got a $13 core charge on the power steering pump. So I thought I'd get this, rent it, and then take it back when I take the pump back for the core. Well, hello fans. So what I'm doing today is we got our 84 Mustang again, and I think the power steering pump here is bad. So I watched the video to make sure I knew how to do it, and they were saying you had to take off the fan shroud and all that stuff like that. And for this car, it's a really big pain. So I was wanting to see if I could do it, take the pulley off of the power steering pump right down here on the car, and I was able to do it. So now I got a drain pan down below the car. So there's a line right here, and then there's a line down here that have to come off of the pump. This one up here, I think it's a 5/8, and that other one, there's a little nut. You could use a flathead or a 5/16 on it. And then there's 3 bolts, 1, 2, there's a third one right down here. Those are 11/16. So to do this, I've already did some prep work. I already jacked the car up. I have my tool to loosen the serpentine belt, and so I loosened that up. The battery is off. The car's jacked up. I gave it a good wiggle chest to make sure that nothing was going to fall. So let me unhook these lines so this thing can start draining. Okay, there's that one. Hopefully I don't make a bloodbath. But no, my luck. Oh, my glove popped. I'll have to get a new one. That looks good. Well, so far so good. Let me get another glove. Alright, and that second line is just right here. Oh. Oh, I just love hose clamps and hoses and all this other fun stuff. Yeah, it's turning. Come on. I should have taken this little box off right here. It's gonna cut me up pretty good. Oh, and this is gonna fight me now. And I'm trying to avoid the inevitable. What's gonna happen is I'm gonna be yanking on this, and then it's gonna come off, and then I'm gonna punch something. I thought I was bleeding already, but that's just power stand fluid. I have enough there. I'm not dealing with this. So, yeah, it's time to just do this. You don't want to come off, I'll get you off. There we go. I wonder if I can. There we go, swing that down a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't get. Take the cap off. That'll let it drain a little bit better. Alrighty. So, yeah, we can let that drain. And I'll go ahead and break these bolts loose. And I'll probably end up punching something here. Ow! Oh, yeah. That's time to cheat a little bit. I don't feel like punching anything, so I need a little extra leverage. There we go. Let's just do this the easy way. There we go. Ah, well, that was so much better. Why didn't I think of that a minute ago? Oh, maybe if I'm smart, this rag over here, maybe this will keep me from getting all chewed up. 2, and where's the third one? Right down here. I should have taken that one off first. Yep, that sounds about right. Oh, come on. You're just about there. And this one was the dirtiest one. I almost had to clean it off a little bit to get the socket on it a minute ago. Oh, come on. Yeah, it's a little grimy. Here we go. Hopefully. Yeah, there we go. And the old pump is out. It looks like all the fluid's drained out of it. But what I'll do is I'll just wiggle it down here maybe. There we go. I need to take that back. It's got a $13 cord charge on it. Yeah. Let me get some cleaner. Where did I set that a minute ago? I'm going to try to clean this bracket up a little bit. What I really need to do is just take this thing and pressure wash it. If nothing else, from the time that I got it to now, it's got to be faster, you know, because they say if you make something lighter, it becomes faster. And I've probably removed about 20, 30 pounds of just dirt and grease and just, I mean, look at that. So everything on this car has just been caked up. I was told that so one of the guys at the Mustang Club said he knew the guy that had this before the guy that I bought it off of, and he's the one that traded the seats for it. So I have the seats out of his it's an 86 convertible. And so he said that the dude that had it, like 2 people before me, wanted to turn this car into a drag car. And so that's what I guess he was trying to do work on it. I don't know. The guy I got it from said that the rack was bad and that the thermostat housing was leaking. And so thermostat housing's like $15. I was like, I'll get one, change it out. That's not going to be a big deal. It was a big deal because, I mean, I'm an idiot when it comes to this stuff. I just have a book over there that if I need to know something, I'll look it up in the book, or I'll try to watch a video. And that's about how I go to figure this stuff out, and then I just go for it. So he said that it was leaking from the thermostat housing, and so it was never, well, it might have been leaking from the thermostat housing, but when I got the rack on it and everything, I changed the thermostat housing out, and I went for a ride just around the neighborhood, and there was steam and stuff coming off from the engine. And I looked, and on the back of the intake, way back here, I don't know if you can see it or not, but here, I'll put it up here and show you real quick. So back here, there was just water pouring out of the back of the intake back here. And there was a whole bunch of red RTV on it. And so I got a new intake. I got a Ford Performance intake for it. And I was going to put it on. There were only 8 bolts to hold this thing down instead of the 12 that you need. So that's why it was leaking water. It's got a new carburetor. This thing has just had all kinds of stuff, and it's been fighting me the whole time. I really think that the dude who had, or this car, is just one of those cars that it just would have been happier if it would have been allowed to just sit and die. There we go. So you can't just undo those 3 bolts because the pulley, which is outside right now, I hit it with a little bit of paint. The pulley sticks out here, so you have to take the pulley off in order to do that part. So might just take a little bit of a break and go paint the back side of the pulley since it's there, and clean up these bolts. I mean, no one wants to watch someone clean up bolts, and start getting everything ready. And I can kind of show what I did with the pulley. I'll probably figure that out and put that before this, but I mean, for right now, that's it. So I'll take a little bit. Okay, so I cleaned up my bolts and I put the return hose onto the new power steering pump because I just thought it'd be a little bit easier to do this outside of the car. I have that. I put a 3/8 in here and did this with a hose clamp to flush the system later. So this should just be the reverse of what I did earlier. Line it up. Let me set that there for a second. I'm going to put some of the amazing use 2 drops. You turn everything in your World Silver anti-seize on here. The reason I say that is because this stuff just gets all over the place. So like I said, I'm just going to give this a little, that's way too much. Let me just put some of this on the threads with my finger. Hopefully I won't ever have to take this back apart. This is what I'm talking about. This stuff just gets everywhere. Now this part would probably be a lot easier. Oh, that wasn't too bad. Maybe. Okay. Got one in. Just a little. Oh. Let me try to get this bottom one in now. Where's this one going? Yep. Okay, we got 2 out of 3. We're doing pretty good now. Just one more little bit of anti-seize. And this one goes right up here. Alright, now this should be ready for 11/16 to just, let me get these a little bit tighter in here. this bottom one is one to be difficult again. I'll just use the ratchet. So double check. Yeah. I just love when this happens. So it doesn't want to go in with your hand, but when you use the ratchet, it just goes in really quick. I'll snug that the rest of the way up with my hand as much as I can. There we go. That should be fine. I'm sure these got to be torqued to a certain spec, but so what I should have done earlier, and this is something more for me. There's a metal fan back here, and I always forget that the blades of that thing are sharp. So when I was breaking this bolt down here earlier, and my hand went up, I hit the fan and cut my knuckle pretty good right there. So what I should have did is just did like I did earlier and take my little breaker bar and just, and that wouldn't have happened, but I'm not that smart, so there we go. I'll give all these one more. Okay. That's good. So, see if I can show this right here. So what I was looking at earlier, so you can kind of see there's a little green rubber seal right here. The kit comes with a new one, so there you go. So I wasn't going to change that out, but here lately with everything, so here's the new little rubber seal right here. I'm going to set that here. Let me see if I can get this off. So knowing my luck, I wasn't going to change it because it looked pretty good, but knowing my luck, it would leak, so just use this little dental pick and that'll never be seen again. So here's my new one. Come on, there we go. So now got the new one in, and kind of hard to see, but there's this little blue cap down here. It was on pretty tight, and it's got a little flathead spot, so I just loosened that up. So that cable that I just had, this one right here, it gets snuck back in here where I pulled out that blue. Alright. That's either a 5/8 or a 9/16. Let me see, I got 5/8 right here. There we go. So now, there's the little blue cap here. That's just the shipping. I got a new cap. You can see the part number right here. 82582. So I'm replacing all this junk. I might as well replace the cap too. So let me get the installer tool real quick. let me show this a little bit better. So there's two sizes. There's this one, and there's this one that's got the little, you can kind of see it's beveled, so it's smaller down here, and it goes up. So I test fitted these earlier, and the bigger one is the one that I need for my pulley. So if I've got this right, oh please go. So I'm trying to do this without doing the fan shroud or any of the other stuff. So what I'm thinking, no, I don't think that'll work. Can I loosen up the fan shroud enough to slide it over? Let's find out together. Give me a minute to dig through my stuff to find the right wrench. Like I was saying before, I really don't want to remove the fan from this because removing the fan from this is a whole fiasco. They've already been cut once, so I don't feel like getting cut again. So hopefully I'll just be able to undo the fan shroud here. There's two, it looks like it's about an 8mm bolt. And hopefully I'll be able to slide this shroud over just enough that I can get the tool on there without having to take all this madness off. Because if I do, I'm just going to stop here for the day because I really don't feel like dealing with that. Okay, I got one out. Stupid gnat. Oh, come on, you're right there. And there goes the pull. Okay, there's that part. So this part actually screws in just like that. So I just moved all my tools and now I don't know where I set them, which is a very common thing for me. So what's going to happen is, I think you can see what just happened. I'll get in a little bit, kind of show. So the pulley, this little piece spins here and gets tight. And so what that's going to do is it's going to push that onto the stud right there. Set this back right here. And let me find my wrench. so I think that's a 5/8. Nope, it's 11/16. Okay. There's the camera. So I don't have a fancy tripod or anything like that. I just pretty much have this on a little thing here. I think that's a 9/16. Now, I haven't done this part to figure it out, so I'm not sure if I got to tighten this and hold this with this one or what, so we might be figuring this one out together. I'm just happy right now that I didn't have to take all the fan and all that fun stuff off of here. Alright, let me try this here. Get on there. So if I have this right, what this is doing each time I turn this little thing here is pushing the stud or the pulley onto the shaft of the power steering pump. And so what I'm going to have to do is this pulley here will have to line up eventually. If it's anything like the last one, it took forever. I'm getting some resistance, so something must be working. This is hard to do with that camera up there. Oh well. Just stay on there, guy. Come on. Working. To the whole SpongeBob 3 days and 85 minutes later. There's probably an easier way to do this, but like I said, I did not want to remove the fan and the whole shroud, because on this car it's a nightmare getting this fan on and off of here. So what I think I'll do is I'll stop this right here for a minute, and then once I get everything done, I'll pick it back up. Just when I thought I had this fixed. Nope. Okay. So I got it all on. One of the things I saw to say that if you got the correct alignment is if you put a straight edge here, the edge of the pulley here and here, they both match up nice. I also took the belt. It's loose off of everything else, but it has a good alignment. So now what I need to do, I got the line hooked up here. I got everything unhooked down from the bottom so that I can bleed the system. So where did my other thing go? Okay, so this takes the Micron V transmission fluid. So what I'm just going to do, pour a little bit of that down in here. Hopefully I don't make a bloodbath. There we go. Just a little bit. Now let me pour in a little bit more. Alright, so I still have a bunch of stuff from the bottom unhooked. I'll come through and fix the rest of this later. So let me just make sure I got everything in the pan down here. Okay. Yep. Make sure this one's in here just in case. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll spin the pump to flush it. Okay. Something's working. You hear it? Make a little clicking noise. Let me do this real quick. Let me do that again. So what I'm doing is pouring a little fluid through here, mostly in the pan down there, and I'm turning the power steering pump. And now I'm going to turn the steering wheel lock to lock. Alright, so what that's doing is that's flushing out any of the power steering fluid in there. So now let me turn this off. Let me fix the fan back up. Let me hook the battery up. Let me get the belt on. And then I can pour some fluid in here and bleed it. Alright. Let me show this real quick. So these two are to the cooler. 1, 2. What I did, there's 2 lines. I don't know how well it is. I put a gray mark on this one right here. And then to make sure I had the right line going in, I put a gray mark on this one. That way I know that this line goes to this one when I unhooked them. Like I said, this one, there's the line. So I'll just hook all this up and hopefully you can see this. Let me see if I can get a light down in here so you can see. You can see the little bubble. Look at that. So I'm going to have to bleed the system because I just put new everything in. So what I'm going to do is just let it go through for a while. Because what it's trying to do right now is get the air out of the system. So, oh, it just stopped. So I might continue with the bleeding process. So what I'm going to have to do now, start the car up, slowly turn the wheel. Let me add just a little bit more fluid. Oh. And hopefully we don't have a bloodbath. So now you can really hopefully see. See how it did that milkshake right there? So that's just air in the system. So I'm just going to have to keep doing this, and then but that's something to look out for. So I'm going to need to let this all settle down and do this again in a little. So I didn't realize that the battery died on my little camera, so I'm using my phone. And this is a little bit after everything was all said and done. So as you saw, the power steering fluid was turning all milkshakey. I was finally able to get it all done. It's all fixed now. But the one thing that I did have happen, wasn't thinking about it, and as the car was running, the fan was running, and I tried to pour power steering fluid down in here, and when I did, it just went all over the engine, made a nice big mess. So I had to run over, turn it off, clean everything up, and but yeah, everything is up and running now. And so if you are doing this, you might have to turn it off to put fluid in there. I didn't do it, made a huge mess, a bloodbath all over every place. But it's fixed now, at least for a little bit. And it did kind of fix the little wandering that it was doing some. So all that work wasn't in vain, but I got everything put back together. And I actually drove this car for a little bit just to make sure everything was fixed. Until next time, I just want to say, hopefully one day me and you can do this together, Finn. And that I love you.